The studio lights of The View glowed brightly as the audience settled into their seats. It was supposed to be another lively morning discussion, the kind viewers had seen countless times before. The producers expected spirited debate, a few laughs, and perhaps a headline or two by the end of the broadcast. What nobody expected was the tension that would slowly build between Meryl Streep and Joy Behar. Meryl arrived backstage early. Calm and composed, she greeted crew members with her usual warmth. She had spent decades navigating interviews, award ceremonies, and difficult conversations. Very little surprised her anymore. As she sat in the makeup chair, she reviewed the topics planned for the show. Most of them seemed harmless enough. Movies, cultural changes, and public conversations about celebrity influence. She was there to promote her latest project. But she knew discussions on live television could take unexpected turns. Meanwhile, Joy Behar was preparing at the host desk. Known for her direct opinions and sharp humor, she was ready to challenge any guest who stepped onto the stage. The audience appreciated her willingness to say exactly what was on her mind. When the show began, everything appeared normal. The hosts introduced Meryl with enthusiastic applause. The crowd stood as she walked onto the set, smiling and waving. "Thank you," Meryl said, taking her seat. "It's wonderful to be here." The first few minutes were pleasant. They discussed her career, memorable film roles, and the challenges of staying creative after decades in the entertainment industry. The audience laughed as Meryl shared stories from movie sets. Even Joy smiled. But then the conversation shifted. One of the hosts brought up the growing divide between celebrities and ordinary people. Meryl answered thoughtfully, "I think public figures have a responsibility to listen more than they speak," she said. "People want authenticity, not lectures." Several audience members nodded. Joy leaned forward. "But don't celebrities often lecture people anyway?" she asked. The smile on Meryl's face faded slightly. "Sometimes," Meryl admitted. "But I think that's an oversimplification." Joy wasn't finished. Many viewers feel that wealthy stars live in a different reality. They tell people how to live while enjoying privileges most Americans don't have. A murmur spread through the audience. Meryl remained calm. "I understand that criticism," she replied. "But I don't think someone's success automatically invalidates their perspective." Joy crossed her arms. "Doesn't it make them less relatable?" The tension in the room became noticeable. Meryl paused before answering. "I don't think relatability comes from income," she said. "I think it comes from empathy." The audience applauded. Joy gave a quick smile, but it was clear she disagreed. The discussion moved on, but the atmosphere had changed. A few minutes later, another topic emerged. Whether actors should use their platforms to discuss social issues. Joy immediately jumped in. "Don't you think audiences are getting tired of celebrities telling them what to think?" Several audience members reacted with mixed applause. Meryl looked directly at her. "I don't tell people what to think." Joy raised an eyebrow. "Really?" The audience suddenly became very quiet. Meryl maintained eye contact. "Really?" For a moment, neither woman spoke. The silence felt unusually long for live television. Joy finally broke it. "You've made public statements about many issues over the years." "Yes," Meryl answered. "Sharing an opinion isn't the same as demanding agreement." The audience applauded again. Joy laughed lightly. "Depends how it's delivered." Meryl smiled politely. "That's fair." The exchange seemed settled. Then a producer signaled that they had time for one more discussion segment before commercial break. The topic involved public accountability. Joy asked a question that immediately changed the mood. "Do you think Hollywood holds itself accountable enough?" Meryl considered her response carefully. "No institution is perfect." Joy interrupted. "That's not really an answer." A few audience members gasped. Meryl blinked. The interruption was unexpected. "I was getting there," she replied calmly. The audience applauded. Joy leaned back. "Go ahead." Meryl took a breath. "I think accountability requires honesty, not just from actors, but from media personalities. Politicians, corporations, everyone." The audience erupted into applause. Some viewers could already sense where the conversation was heading. Joy responded quickly. "So you're saying the media is part of the problem too?" "I'm saying nobody gets a free pass." The audience reacted loudly. Joy's smile disappeared. For the first time all morning, the discussion felt genuinely personal. The hosts exchanged nervous glances. One attempted to redirect the conversation, but Joy wasn't ready to move on. "You seem to be suggesting that interviewers and commentators are somehow failing the public." Meryl shook her head. "No, I'm saying we all have responsibilities." Joy laughed. "That's a very diplomatic answer." Meryl smiled. "It's also a truthful one." The audience applauded again. At that point, the producers could sense the energy in the room. Cameras zoomed closer. Social media teams backstage were already preparing clips. The commercial break finally arrived. As the cameras cut away, audience members immediately began whispering among themselves. When the show returned, everyone appeared calmer. The final segment focused on Meryl's upcoming film. For a while, the earlier tension seemed forgotten. She discussed her character, the production process, and the themes explored in the movie. The audience enjoyed hearing about the project. Even Joy asked a few thoughtful questions. Then, near the end of the interview, Joy made one final remark. "You know, despite our disagreements, you've handled every question very gracefully." The audience laughed. Meryl smiled. "That's because disagreement isn't the enemy." Joy looked surprised. "What is?" Meryl answered without hesitation. "Refusing to listen." The studio fell silent. For several seconds, nobody spoke. Then the audience erupted into one of the loudest rounds of applause of the morning. Even some crew members backstage joined in. Joy nodded slowly. "I can agree with that." The tension that had dominated much of the interview seemed to dissolve. As the segment ended, the two women shook hands. The audience stood once again. By the time the credits rolled, clips from the discussion were already spreading across social media. Viewers debated who had made the stronger arguments. Some supported Joy's tough questioning. Others praised Meryl's calm responses. But nearly everyone agreed on one thing. They had witnessed a rare live television moment. Two strong personalities, challenging each other openly, refusing to back down, yet ultimately finding common ground. As Meryl left the studio, she thanked the crew and headed toward the exit. Behind her, conversations about the interview continued throughout the building. The clash had created headlines. The exchange had generated debate. But the lasting memory wasn't the disagreement itself. It was the reminder that even the sharpest arguments can end with respect when both sides are willing to listen.